Hey everybody, it's Sherry at the Crafty Decorator. Happy Thrifty Thursday, everybody. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I was a nervous wreck, guys, that I was not going to get my Thrifty Thursday project done. I need to figure out my time better. Okay, so I didn't share a picture of what I was using because you guys would guess right off the bat what it was going to be. So here it is, guys. I made the mantle scarf out of the bed skirt. I really wanted to get like 2 or 3 out of the bed skirt, but it was a little crazy, that bed skirt. I took it all apart. I took these off the solid sheet part of the bed skirt, and I laid them out because I wanted to measure how long they were. Then when I was looking at them, some of them are crazy, guys. Okay, so I'm going to try to see if you could see this, but this is like a smaller point on this end of the bed skirt, and this one is a big point. So, and these little things in the center are like crazy. My aunt thinks this was all hand crocheted and then added to sewn to the sheet to make the bed skirt. And she said she thinks they didn't count right. So some of them are a little crazy. So I don't like how this one would look for a mantle scarf. So I did not use that one. I did use the other side, and I got that. And that is 60 inches long, guys. And then the bottom part of the footboard bed skirt is 49 inches. So I did use that too. So I'm going to explain to you. And I used, for that one, I used the sheet part that was connected to the bed skirt. I reused that also. Okay. So what I did was, first I laid that mantelpiece on the floor. I measured it. So it was 60 inches. Then I laid down my fabric. And I measured my fabric. Now, here's what I figure. I'm going to show you for this one. I draw myself a little diagram, guys. So say this is my mantle here, this line. So it's 60 inches across. I write that down. Now, I wanted an inch for the hem on the bottom. When you have, for your rough edge, I want an inch so I can fold under and fold again so you don't have that raw edge showing for my hem. So I needed 62 because I want an inch for each side. So 62 long, I needed it. Then you have to figure, I wanted to cover some of the mantle scarf behind. I decided I didn't want the points to be covered behind. I'm just going to let the points hang free. I only wanted this section to have fabric behind. So you measure this, how long this was, where I was going to, well, you need fabric behind the whole thing. So say it was 7 inches long. No, so 8.5. I'm sorry, 8.5 inches long. So 8.5 inches long I need for this part. Plus, I need an inch for the bottom. So it's 9.5 inches. I need it there. Then, now you can measure the depth of your mantle for how deep it is and times it by 2. I'm not sure how the depth of everyone's mantle. So I went online and looked at the average depth of the mantle scarves. So I made it 10 inches. I made this 10 inches. So if I want that to be 10 inches, I need to double it because we're doubling this top part. So I needed 20 inches. Then I need an inch for my seam, for my fold over, my seam. So I needed 21 inches there. So I needed 9.5 plus, so I needed 30.5 inches. I needed 30.5 inches in length this way, and I needed 62 inches long. So I could have all my hems not seams, hems. I can have my 1-inch hems and enough fabric to double over and enough fabric to go behind my mantle scarf where I want it, the fabric to be behind. Okay, so I cut my fabric to those dimensions. Then I lay the fabric down and I lay my scarf on top. Now you're going to lay it, so you're going to lay it on the fabric with this end right here where you want it to be covering too. So the end of your fabric is going to be there, okay? Then I wanted to, oh, nope, I'm sorry. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Way ahead of myself. Okay, after I cut my fabric, let's go backwards a second. After I cut my fabric, then I did my hems. So I did my 1-inch, well, on this piece I didn't. This piece I did. Let me show you on this piece. I did my 1-inch hem. I iron it all down first, and then I sewed my hem. Then I ironed my 1-inch hem for the top part of the fabric. I didn't sew that. I just ironed it down. And I did my 1-inch hems on the sides. I ironed them. Now, I don't sew those either. The only hem you sewed is the one that's going to go under your mantle scarf. Okay? So once you have all your hems ironed, I take it, I lay it on the floor, and then I lay my mantle scarf part that I want on, oh, I just pinned myself, guys, on top. Now, like I said, you're going to lay it on top for it to end right where you want to stop covering underneath. So, like here, I laid it on top, see, and I stopped right where I didn't want the points. So I laid it on top where I wanted it. Then I pinned it all in place so it doesn't shift around. I pinned it. Oh, I'm sorry. I pinned it on the bottom so it doesn't shift around. I pinned it across. I pinned it across on the bottom so it doesn't all shift. I keep sticking myself with pins, guys. Okay. Then you are going to fold your fabric over. You're going to fold your big 20 inches over to where you want to sew this all together. So I covered, like on this one, I covered this top little first part in one row. That is what is between my fabric pieces here, okay? So fold it over and pin it all in place. Pin it across. Pin it all across. Now, by no means, guys, these are not perfect. I am not a seamstress. I do the best I can, and these things were a little crazy. So, I am not perfect, and these will not be perfect, but they are pretty. I think it came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Okay, so once I have it pinned, make sure your sides are even and pin that down also, both sides. Then I went to the sewing machine. The first thing I sewed was where all our pieces are connected. I sewed all of that together, right across the whole thing. Then I sewed down my sides. Now you don't have to sew this together. On mine downstairs I didn't, but it shifts and the underneath shows more than my crochet. So on these I sewed down. I sewed the whole thing down on both sides. And then you end up with your mantle scarf. Now, I'm going to take my pins out on the bottom where I do not sew the bottom, guys. I let that hang free. I'm going to show you in a second here. Okay, I let this hang free. I do not sew this across. All right, I just let that hang free. just hang free across. Then you can take all your pins out. Let's see. And it's going to need to be ironed again. You should iron everything before you start even. I ironed everything before I start, so it was all nice and even. All my wrinkles were out, so my cut would be okay. But like I said, I am not perfect, guys. I'm not a seamstress. I just do the best I can. Like, don't ask me to make clothes, because I can't do that. But I could sew lines. So that is all I have to do for this. Okay. Hopefully my little pucker things will come out when I, like I said, I had problems with this bed skirt because it was not crocheted properly. So I had a little bit of problems, but they still came out beautiful. Now this one's 49 inches. This one is 60. Someone will be getting these. I'm going to come on later and tell who I picked to receive these. And like I said, guys, they're not perfect. Now, I didn't coffee stain them and I didn't tea stain them. I'm going to let you decide that. And I'm not sure about the depth of your mantle. So if this is going to be too wide for your mantle, you can just fold it under some, or you can cut this and then sew this closed, sew this back closed on the top. That's going to be up to you. I hope they're going to fit good. But, so that is that, guys. And that is the mantle scarf. And I'm really liking it. I wish I could have did the third one. But that third piece is a little crazy. I'm going to have to figure something else out to do with that. And I hope you all understand how I did it. I probably should have pinned it all in front of you. When I make them out of the table runner, then I'm going to pin it in front of you so you can understand what I'm doing. Okay, so my giveaway, guys, this is from, I believe it was Salvation Army, and I don't know how much I paid for it because it doesn't have the little sticker on it, but it's brand new. It was never opened. It's a lace table runner. It's very pretty, and it is it's 108 inches, guys. So if you got a nice big dining room table, this would be beautiful. This would also make a beautiful mantle scarf. Now, I'm not sure how you would cut the end. You'd have to cut the ends and do a seam if you're, because this is long. This is 108 inches, and mine downstairs, I think, is 82. So, I mean, I would have to cut some off of this. But this would make a beautiful mantle scarf. So I have that, and I have this one. Now, I didn't measure how long this one was. It's probably close to 60. It's probably like 48. I want to say it's like 48 inches. But this would make a pretty mantle scarf also. It won't be as long, but that would make a pretty mantle scarf, or pretty on your table. Or you can cut these apart, guys, and use them for your doilies. That's up to you. I am going to give these two away to someone. So this was from Salvation Army. That I know because they have the big tickets. Okay, so if you like the idea of turning the bed skirt into a mantle scarf, sprinkle this video, and whoever sprinkles is, I'm going to pick someone from that category of sprinkle list they give me, and I am going to pick a winner for these two table runners, and I hope you'll enjoy them because they're so pretty. They're so pretty, and this one was never even used. Okay. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I hope you like this Thrifty Thursday. I'm going to hop on a little bit later and let the two people I know that I picked for these mantle scarves. And remember, by no means, they are not perfect. They are not perfect. Okay, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks. Have a good day.